Hey, this is Gina Grad.
Hi, this is Teresa Strasser.
Hi, everyone. This is Mike Errico.
Hey there. This is Casey Cavalier.
I'm Rocky Rose.
And you are listening to The Jay Franze Show.
Lucky you.
Welcome to The Jay Franze Show. A behind-the-curtain look at the entertainment industry with insights you can't pay for and stories you've never heard. Now, here's your host, Jay Franze.
And we are coming at you live. I am Jay Franze, and with me tonight, the Cinderella to my charming, my beautiful co-host, Miss Tiffany Mason.
Good evening, Jay.
How are you, my friend?
Never been better.
If you are new to the show, this is your source for the latest news, reviews, and interviews. And if you would like to join us live, you can do so over at jayfranze.com. You can ask questions, you can comment, you can do whatever you like. You can join, you can make fun of us. We're up for that too. But before we get started, let's discuss the question of the day. The question of the day: what is the first album you've ever purchased with your own money? The album that you sought out and had to have enough to give up your own money. So what is the first album you've ever bought? Go ahead and put those responses in the comment section, and we'll get to them a little later in the show. Tiffany, my friend.
Yes.
Let's talk some history. Let's discuss some things that have happened this week in history.
This week of June the 6th. Is it the 6th? 5th?
It's the 4th today.
It's the 4th.
But that's all right. It's the first week of June. Let's just say it that way.
Okay.
First week in June, 1978. Kenny Rogers and Dottie West, they topped the charts with their duet, Every Time Two Fools Cuddle. Oh, wait, no. Collide.
Cuddle, whatever.
I prefer cuddling. I
think I do too.
Being the little spoon. I like to be held. Wait, oversharing. I'm sorry. Stop. This week, 2010, Taylor Swift. She performed at Verizon Center, Washington, D.C. That was part of the Fearless Tour.
Oh, yep.
Do you remember?
I do not remember. I was not there. I was trying to figure out some math and
Did you come off $7,000 for a ticket? No?
Nope.
2012, Tim McGraw and Kenny Chesney, they launched their Brothers of the Sun tour in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, snap.
Brothers of the Sun.
Who was it? Kenny Rogers and who?
Tim McGraw.
That was the first person. Tim McGraw
and Kenny Chesney.
See, I knew there was a Kenny there.
It's even more fun when you don't pay attention. I like that. That's all right. 2025, not history, but still it's here, so I'm going to read it. A statue of the legend George Jones was unveiled outside of Nashville's Ryman Auditorium.
Ah, how cool is that?
I don't know. Is it cool?
Well, yeah, it's George Jones.
Okay, just asking.
Do you think it's cool?
Worked on one of his projects.
That was a yes or no question.
I don't remember your question. I'm sorry. I was not paying attention to you.
I said, do you think it's a big deal that the statue was put there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean,
inquiring minds want to know, what does Jay think?
They're here for that. Yeah. George Jones, yes, I think he was an important part of country music, and I think that he deserves some sort of recognition. What better recognition than a statue in front of the Ryman?
Yep.
Ryman right there downtown Nashville. All right, let's see. 2008, there was a fire. There was a fire in 2008. It was at Universal Studios in Hollywood.
Oh.
I have to specify Hollywood because I know you being in Florida.
Yes.
But there was a fire at Universal Studios in Hollywood that destroyed thousands of master tapes controlled by Universal Music Group.
That's too bad.
That is a big deal, isn't it? See, now that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Unless it was some of George Jones's recordings, then it's a real big deal.
Yeah.
All right, here's a good one. 1968, before I was born, so Bob, you cannot be held accountable for this. But the Monkees. Bob recorded the Monkees. He worked with the Monkees. Bob Bullock, that is Bob Bullock, producer-engineer. He was working in California at the time, and he worked on a project for the Monkees. But the Monkees won an Emmy for an outstanding comedy series, surpassing shows like The Andy Griffith Show and Bewitched.
Huh. Interesting. It doesn't say that their TV show?
Yeah, they're talking about it's their comedy series, which is their TV show. The Monkees. Hey, hey.
Got
We're
it.
the Monkees.
So, yeah. You know, now a series is like on Netflix. So I wasn't really thinking of it as like a TV show.
You weren't making that connection?
No.
But
no.
yes. I would say in
I am
1968.
Gen X.
This is Hey, hey, we're the Monkees. Yeah.
Or am I Gen Z? No, I'm X.
You're
Yeah.
X.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
If we want to talk about the Monkees, I know it's 2025, but Mickey Dolenz, he's the only surviving member of the Monkees, and he celebrated his 80th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Well,
That's too bad. It means the other ones could really be alive still.
Yeah, it is sad.
Yep.
All right, let's see what else is on this list here. David Bowie. 1967, David Bowie released a self-titled album in the UK. Marked the beginning of his career.
Oh.
So he started his career, 2 years before I was born? Good for him.
Yep. You are so quick with that math.
I know.
How'd you do it so
I'm just
fast?
saying, I'm pretty good. I don't want to mention last week there was some math involved that you were pretty far off, and it wasn't all that bad. It was only like 11, but that's okay. All right, let's end strong. Can we end strong? I mean, we don't have to end. I've got more. There's plenty here, but I've got one more that seems worth mentioning. What do you think? One more or 16 more?
Not 16, but I think 3 more. Pick 3 of your best ones.
3 of the best ones?
Yeah.
1967.
Yeah.
The Beatles returned to Abbey Road.
Ah. Okay.
They completed the recording of Yellow Submarine.
We all live in the Yellow Submarine.
There you go.
Yellow Submarine.
Drew Ryder Smith, he's over there right now, and he was at Abbey Road Studios today.
Oh, cool. Shout out to Drew.
It says this day in history, but once again, it's 2025, but it says the Grand Ole Opry celebrated their 100th anniversary.
Well, yeah, we already reported that. That kind of information came straight from this show like a month ago.
Yeah.
That they were doing all kinds of celebrations.
See, you should have ended on one, because then we would have ended with the Beatles, and this would have been over. We would have ended strong. I'm just throwing that out there.
Don't we have one more?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
we get one more chance to end strong.
Yeah. Here we go. Everybody get ready.
This week in history, 1977, we have Bob Marley in the Wailers.
What about him?
We have to provide more. 1977, Bob Marley and the Wailers. They began a series of 4 shows at the Rainbow Theatre in London.
Yeah, man.
This was to promote their Exodus album.
Okay.
I don't know if that's ending strong, but it's an ending.
Which is the cue that we need to end.
It's like a car crash. I mean, that's an ending. Not the one we're looking for, but it is an ending.
Cue the emergency vehicles.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Add 2 to this year, and it's 2027. Okay?
2027.
I did the math for you.
You're so good.
So Jelly Roll announced during his Music City Rodeo performance that he will not be performing in Nashville again until 2027. That is right. Breaking news. You heard it here first. Jelly Roll will not be in Nashville performing until 2027 because his goal is to be the first artist to play at the new Nissan Stadium, set to open in 2027. Currently, he is touring with Post Malone on the Big Ass Stadium Tour, which concludes in San Francisco on July 1st.
So many things there. So many. For one, I didn't know there was a new Nissan Stadium coming. The one that's there isn't that old.
That's what I was kind of surprised by.
I mean, that was built when I was living there, which was not that long ago. But does he really have to collaborate with Post Malone on a tour? I mean, can these people collaborate anymore? I picture them collaborating in the food line for breakfast. I mean, I don't get it.
There's a lot of crossover or collaboration going on. A lot. And it's kind of like when we talked about the celebrities and how like different times there's always like a certain cluster of actors that you know are always going to be in a movie together. It's kind of the same way. Like we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves, you and I, if we heard something about Jelly Roll or Post Malone and they weren't collaborating. We wouldn't really know how to report the story. We'd be so confused.
What happened here?
Wait, they're doing something on their own?
No.
No. Maybe they have a codependent relationship. Co as in collaborate.
Stop. Collaborate and listen.
Listen, this is back with the brand new edition.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of collaborations and Post Malone, he is expanding his presence in country music by opening a 26,000 square foot restaurant and music venue at 305 Broadway in Nashville. He's partnering with the TC Restaurant Group. The venue will feature a restaurant, bar, and live music performances, reflecting on his commitment to the genre following his 2024 country album F1 Trillion.
F1 Trillion. I'm checking.
F1 Trillion.
I believe, if I am not mistaken, that venue used to be the NASCAR venue.
Oh. Well, at first I was like, oh, a music venue, cool. And then I read more of the description. I was like, oh, like all the other ones.
Yeah. There's like 5,000 of them.
Yeah. You know what I thought was the coolest thing, though? I've actually only been to Nashville once. And I just remember like walking down the street and let's see, it was in September. So the weather was starting to cool off a little bit. And I loved that all the venues had like all their windows open. You could hear music coming from everywhere. And it was just like, pinch me. Am I in heaven? I thought it was pretty cool.
It is. I just looked up the NASCAR Cafe bar in Nashville. It's the same address.
Oh, it's taking over, revamping.
I needed a win after some of these. The only reason I thought that is when you said it was 26,000 square feet.
Yeah.
That's the only place that large in that area is the old NASCAR bar and restaurant.
I wonder how his original fans feel about him being country now. If he's like, I'm committing to the genre.
I don't know.
Do you think they feel like he sold out?
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. I like the fact that you said how cool he is. Like, if he's like hanging out and he gets the whim to go play piano with Joe Schmo over here, that's pretty cool.
Not piano. Just.
We started out too rough, Jay.
Should we start over?
You can't scare me like that.
And we are coming at you live.
Okay, well, something else going on in Nashville. Nashville's CMA Fest kicks off this week.
Nashville?
Offering 4 days. Yep, in Nashville. Offering 4 days of live music and artist-fan interaction across the city. The festival is a staple event drawing fans from all over to celebrate country music.
I have a bone to pick with CMA Fest.
Whoa. That's a big organization to pick a bone with.
I liked it better when they called it fanfare. You need to take a stance. Fanfare? No?
I mean, you're OG. I'm going to go with you.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
There you
I mean, I was on your side this time, Jay.
It's not often, so I just figured I'd just
I know.
reinforce it a little bit.
It's
But
true,
yes,
it's true.
Fanfare, CMA Fest, is a great event. I mean, they have concerts at the Nissan Stadium. You know, the big names will play over at the Nissan Stadium. They have smaller venues, the 5,000 bars on Broadway that are all owned by country artists. Different people playing there and stuff too. It'll be cool. It's fun time. And then they also have meet and greet sections. A lot of the artists that have been on this show will be there this year. Cool thing. If you're in Nashville, go check it out. Moving on to the question of the day. Question of the day, what was the first album that you've ever purchased with your very own money? Your very own money that you have earned in some way. What is the first album that you have ever purchased? This is a tough one for me because I believe there's two that stand out in my mind. I remember, I don't know if I purchased it with my own money, so I'm going to say the first album I ever received was Donnie and Marie.
Okay.
But the first album I've ever purchased with my own money, I believe, was the original Go-Go's album.
Okay. I very distinctly remember going into Musicland at the mall and buying a Color Me Bad single. So I didn't have enough money to buy a whole album. But I do remember a cassette that I used to have of Tiffany.
Did you have to buy Tiffany?
I just wanted to.
Was
I think we're
the
alone
music,
now.
or was it the name?
Oh, yeah. No, it was definitely the song.
All right.
Yeah. It was a long time ago, Jay.
It's because we're old.
I know.
Speaking of Musicland, speaking of previous guests on the show, Mark Badolato is in the chat room. And he is saying, first CD, Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers.
Oh, wow.
But before that, he says K-Tel's rock album.
I don't know, K-Tel.
K-Tel is just a compilation. All right, fair enough. Mark, if you want to join us, jfranze.com/live. You know how it works. All right, let's go down this list real quick. Amy says, Shania Twain, come on over.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a Bob Bullock album. I can go with that one. I didn't get to work on it.
I know, we heard about it.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Just saying. I would have liked to. You know why? She's hot. She's also an amazing singer. And Mutt Lange, her ex-husband, is the best producer in the world. So I would like to work with him.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Would have been good.
Good talent behind the mic. Or I was going to say behind the mic, but that's the singer. I don't know. Behind the console.
She was talented before her husband, and she's talented now after her husband. But that period where they were married and they were releasing those records are like no other. I mean, they are as sharp and well put together as anything. But again, it's kind of like what we were talking about with Def Leppard when Mutt Lange worked with Def Leppard. They're a little too polished sometimes. And that's coming from somebody who likes to polish the hell out of stuff. All right. Brian says Nirvana, never mind. All right. Brian must be 12. Sorry, Brian. I'm just saying I'm old. Lisa says Garth Brooks, No Fences.
Okay, that's a solid purchase.
That's why I feel like these people are making much better purchases than I made. I mean,
Me
I like
too.
the Go-Go's, don't get me wrong. I still like the Go-Go's. So I guess it's a good purchase, but it's nothing, outstanding.
I agree. I'm disappointed in my younger self.
My Donnie Marie days. Jason says, oh, dear God. He likes Tiffany.
Oh, yeah.
He says Metallica, Master of Puppets. Now,
Oh my gosh, nobody has forgotten that I said that.
I am just going to point out that you probably haven't listened to a Metallica album in ages. But dear God, you talk about sex one night, and that's what people are going to remember. Yeah, no, hey, that works for me.
Sex sells, Jay.
Sex sells. I was just going to make a comment, but I'm not going to. All
Thank you.
right. Tina says, Reba McEntire, Read My Mind.
Ooh, that was a good song, too.
Sing it to us.
Read my mind.
Okay, please stop.
No, I know.
I can't think of Reba without thinking about Jeff King. Guitar player, studio musician, and her touring guitar player.
And prior guest of the Jay Franze Show.
Prior guest. Let's see. Jeff King, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was episode number 6.
Oh, wow. And that made it easy for you to do the math on that.
It was easy to count. 1, 2.
I didn't even see you use your fingers. That's great.
I was tapping my toes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is going to be one of those nights. Mike says Leonard Skinner. Pronounced Lenhard, Skinherd.
What?
I don't know. He felt the need to tell me how to pronounce it.
Leonard Skinner. Maybe he says it kind of funny, maybe he was saying it emphasize, you can do the claps after stuff. Maybe he's like Leonard Skinner. Like a dramatic pause.
Is that what it is? Might be. They're hyphenated. Len,
See?
nerd, skin, nerd.
Then it sounds like you're calling him the nerd.
I think that's what he's going for. And he's also got all sorts of little hash marks over it and stuff. Like it's a different language.
Oh, maybe he's German.
I don't know, Mike. I need more information from you, buddy.
Yeah.
We have
Explain
questions.
yourself.
We have questions. We need you to provide answers. All right, Heather. Oh, I wish I had one cool like this. Heather says Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah. Yeah. I had it, but I don't remember buying it. I don't remember it as a first.
Oh, I bought
Color
it.
Me Bad came out in 1991. And so I would have been 12. It's all right.
Not fair. It's not fair. You're making me seem older than you, and I'm not. I mean, if we do the math on the fingers, you're 10 years older than me. I don't understand this. Robert. Now, Robert's older than both of us. He says the Eagles, Hotel California.
Well, solid purchase, though.
I remember Gary from elementary school. We were at his house, and we would listen to the Eagles album, and we would call the phone number on the back of the album asking to speak to the Eagles. It was like their record company or their publishers or whatever. We'd call it every day, just hoping we would catch them there one day or something. We were stupid.
Oh.
Emily says Taylor Swift, Fearless.
Solid purchase, but she must be young.
Yeah. Derek says Pearl Jam 10. First purchase around 1992.
See, I bought Color Me Bad, but I should have waited and bought Pearl Jam. It would have been a much more impressive thing to say.
I'm doing math now, trying to figure out how old the people are. It's it's become a game trying to figure out how old these people are versus their actual albums.
Don't do that because we've already established you and math on the spot.
All right, fine. Chloe says Faith Hill, Breathe. Mm-hmm. That's what Tim says to her too. Faith, breathe.
Just breathe.
Okay, good. That was better than the direction my mind was going.
Yes.
I was thinking about she needed a safe word. Michelle says Miranda Lambert, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Okay. I like Miranda Lambert.
Yeah.
We've talked about her a lot.
Yeah. Kelsey says Carrie Underwood, Some Hearts.
Long-haired Mark.
Long-haired Mark's back with us, folks.
Yes.
Mark, what was the name of the music store you used to work at?
Musicland.
That's what I said. That's what
Oh my gosh, we were just talking about music. Did you hear me talking about
Tiffany, I'm glad you're here.
Musicland at the mall.
Yeah. Oh man. So That was in Boston, right?
Yep.
Look at that. There was a Musicland in Iowa and Boston.
Sam Goody was part of that same chain.
Yes. Good call. Yes. Sam Goody. Oh my gosh. Yes.
All right, we're going to move on to Jordan because Jordan also says fellow Bostonian. I'm going to go with Boston. Boston.
Oh, wow.
Tiffany, name one song off that album.
Cheese suck.
It's got to be More Than a Feeling. No?
It's more than a feeling.
There you go. See?
You name a song off that one, Mark.
Long Time, Foreplay, Don't Look Back. Oh, no, Don't Look Back's the second album.
All right.
Makes sense.
Anthony says Eric Church. Chief.
I don't know how old that is.
I don't think Eric Church has been around all that long.
I don't think so either.
I think I worked with him when he first started. And when he first started, Bella was just born, so she's 15. And his son, we mentioned before, was born right after Bella. And that's when
right. Yeah.
Eric was asking me questions. I made him call the wife because I said, I don't know the answer to your questions. Samantha says Keith Urban, Golden Road. David says ACDC, Back in Black.
They just came through Tampa and everybody's like, I'm going to the ACDC concert. I'm not going to ACDC concert. No, they all just went to Metallica and ACDC is coming.
I love you so much. All right, let's see. Kevin says Green Day, Dookie. Marcus says Brooks and Dunn, A Brand New Man.
Wait, did we ask Mark? What was the first album you bought, Mark?
Do you not remember this show at all? I mean, we're in the moment.
Jay mentioned the compilation called The Rock Album.
K-Tel.
That's how I learned a whole bunch of songs like Styx and Eddie Money, and that was my first intro.
I didn't know that was his last name, Jay. You said Badolato, and I was like, okay.
Nice, huh? You see that?
You
got that right.
He pronounces it correctly.
Mark tested me when we first met. He made me spell it.
Did I?
And that's probably the only thing I've ever spelt correctly in my life, only because I could sound it out.
All right, do it now without looking.
Bod, B-A-D-O, La, L-A-T-O.
There you go. But I like you still sounding it out almost 40 years later.
I have to. Yes. Right. I'm going to move on because I don't like you guys. Hannah says Leanne Rhymes, Blue.
That's a good one.
Patricia says Patsy Cline, Greatest Hits. Ben says The Rolling Stones, Let It Bleed. Natalie says Trisha Yearwood, Hearts in Armor. Should we start censoring? Alex, Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory. That was a good album. Erica says Chris Stapleton, Traveler.
That's the first one that she bought?
That's what it says. Erica, she's calling you a liar.
No, I'm thinking Erica's young.
Link is in the comments if you want to join us and argue.
I don't think she has to argue, but we need proof. How old are you, Erica?
She's 12. We're
that's okay.
Beating up on a 12-year-old. All right, let's see here. Fleetwood Mac, Kelsey Ballerini, Blink-182, Tim McGraw, Kid Rock, the band Perry, Jason Aldean. Care about any of those?
I care about all of them.
Okay.
How about Mark? Care about any of those?
No. Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, of course I do.
No, who cares? All right, let's see. Paul says Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Jasmine says Kelsey Ballerini, The First Time. Travis Bennett, Blink-182. I'm sorry, Travis, I just said your last name.
Yep, called him right out.
Travis Bennett. He lives at 42 Main Street, down by the old church. Oh, I'm sorry, Travis. If you guys...
Anonymity is not yours.
Just do not put your last names in here. Don't trust me with a last name. I'm sorry. Vanessa says Tim McGraw, Set This Circus Down. Was that the name of one of his albums? Set This Circus Down.
By Tim McGraw?
I don't know.
Set the Circus Down?
Set This Circus Down. Lindsay says the band Perry. The band Perry.
Yes, Set This Circus Down by Tim McGraw.
Okay. Sean says Jason Aldean, My Kind of Party.
I like all Jason Aldean music.
Sophia says Luke Bryan, Tailgates and Tan Lines. Ronnie says Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. I saw Old Dominion, but at a quick glance, it looked like Old Man. And it said Old Man Happy Endings. It's like, what are we talking about here? But apparently,
Freudian slip, right?
Wendy says Old Dominion Happy Endings.
There you go, Wendy.
And then Mark, different Mark, says Leonard Skinnard, Second Helping. Not Leonard, Scannard. You weren't here for that, Mark, sorry. Apparently somebody said Leonard Skinnard and then told me how to pronounce it.
Well, the album was called Pronounced Leonard Skinnard. That's one of the albums.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, Mark.
Oh, wow.
I don't know
So
if I
much
can
light
find-
just shone.
Light dawns over Marblehead. All right, Mark, look at you. It says Mike.
Wow.
Sorry, Mike, for all of the confusion earlier or making fun of you or whatever we were doing. It says Leonard Skinnard, pronounced Leonard Skinnard. Is that really the name of their album? You're funny.
Mark, you are such a wealth of knowledge.
I'm glad you're back, Mark. All right, where did I go? There was Wendy. There was one I wanted to mention. The last one. Let's end on... Oh, there it is. Brenda. Brenda says, Jody Messina, Burn. Why are we ending on Jody Messina, Miss Tiffany? Where is she from?
Boston, and she's a redhead.
There you go. Oh, there's one after it that was for Tiffany. Can we throw in a bonus?
Bonus, bonus, bonus.
Jeff says Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic.
Yes. Oh, that's the best one. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Well, Black Sabbath will reunite for their final charity concert titled Back to the Beginning at Villa Park in Birmingham on July 5th. This marks the first performance by the original lineup in 20 years. The event will feature supporting acts like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Tool, and more. The proceeds benefiting Cure Parkinson's, Birmingham Children's Hospital, and Acorns Children's Hospice. That is so sad. I did not know there was a children's hospice.
Oh, no, I didn't know that either, but no, that doesn't sound good at all.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Nobody under the age of like
No,
I don't know, 75 should die. Just all live happy.
Yes, let's all live forever. There you go.
All live forever.
All right, Mark, what do you think the odds are that that original lineup will show up and actually perform one full show from start to finish?
Full show. No, I think Ozzy's only going to be able to do a couple of songs, if that, because he just does not have the strength with all the medical issues he's having.
I would think that Ozzy should show up on a throne.
Mm-hmm.
He should sit there, and everybody else should get up, and it should basically be a tribute.
I think that's mostly what it's going to be. I think he's going to sing a couple of songs of Sabbath, a couple of songs of solo stuff, and the rest is going to be tribute stuff.
Yeah.
Still want to be there.
Oh, yeah. I'd want to go check it out for sure. Absolutely. But I don't see that full band playing a full set.
No.
Okay, so, outsider question. Every time that it's not the original people, it's called tribute?
If it's a band that just plays their music that's not anything to do with the band itself, it's a tribute band. But just what Jay's talking about is doing a tribute to Ozzy's career because he's not able to perform anymore.
Right. So what is the difference between a tribute band and a cover band? A cover band will do multiple artists, and a tribute band will stick to one lane?
Generally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Didn't know
like
that.
when we had Carried Away on the show, they were Carried
Yes.
Underwood tribute band. but they were also in a band called Hot Honey, which was a cover band.
Okay.
And they were also in a Taylor Swift tribute band.
Oh.
3 bands. One group of people, 3 different
not?
bands. Wow.
I got a
How
friend
does that
that
work?
did the same thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 3 different 80s bands. I think Aerosmith, well, they're kind of a 70s, 80s, 90s band. Aerosmith, Poison, Alice Cooper, Def Leppard, I think. Maybe one more.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I guess it's like read your audience, right? And then you just show up, somebody maybe doesn't want to hire Carried Away, but they want to hire the Taylor Swift band.
Yeah, and plus they play, they're the house band for the theme park. So the theme park's not going to want to hear the same band all night long.
Got it. Right. Well, also when they're like, at 3:00, stop by this stage, to hear the
To hear
Taylor
Taylor
Swift band. Yeah, right.
I don't know, they might.
Right.
Be a huge
I mean, if
crowd.
they work at an amusement park, yeah.
That's Kings Island in Ohio, if anybody wants to go check them out.
Okay. So Dropkick Murphys will release their 13th album, For the People, on July 4th, featuring collaborations with Albar, Billy Bragg, The Scratch, and Mary the Wallopers. I don't know anything that I just read.
I will give you $1 because you already got one tonight. Where is this band from?
Boston?
There you go. All right.
God,
Nice.
I just earned $1.
Mark, tell me the best thing about Dropkick Murphys.
I don't know a lot of their stuff other than the song that they use in all the soundtracks, like The Departed and stuff like that, which is a kicking song. But I don't know much about them other than that.
Yeah, big Irish band.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's that? What's the name of that song? I can hear it in my head, but I don't know the name of it.
Right.
All right.
How does it go?
I'm going to find out. While I find out, you feel free to move on if you'd like. Drop,
Okay, well, moving along.
kick, Murphys.
Hard to move along when you're
know.
explaining everything you're typing in.
I can't do 2 things at once. I'm sorry. I'm shipping up to Boston.
We'll go with yes.
Tell us.
I want to
Yeah,
press
yeah.
play really bad, but
Ooh.
all right. Sorry, Miss Tiffany. Move on.
Okay. Bush will headline Lakes Jam 2025 in Brainerd, Minnesota on June 26th, performing the Bush Light main stage. Reading this, I knew exactly what Lake Jam's 2025 is because I used to live in Minnesota.
There you go, huh? Bush came out in what, 96-ish, somewhere in that area?
Uh-huh. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, somewhere in the 90s, right?
Early 90s. I was still working at a different music store when that came out, and I left there early 95. So
Yeah, I was living there. I was living in Orlando at the time. There was a bar in Orlando, Phineas Fogg's, I think it was, that every Thursday had nickel beer. The reason I'm mentioning that is Bush was the band that was always played there.
All I can think is, got a machine head. Love that song.
great. That whole awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the big hit? I mean, that was a big hit, but what was the first one?
Everything Zen. That was the one.
Oh,
That was the first hit off there.
okay.
All right.
Listen, this a long time. That's a great album.
It was a good album. It was good for nickel beers. And that was when Von Ray played around the corner and Matchbox 20 played across the street from them. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Thursday nights were a big deal in that area at that time.
I'll say.
Yeah, I remember Jay introducing me to Matchbox 20 when they were still a full band. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Tabitha's Secret at the time. Yeah. And I met the drummer for Tabitha's Secret, now Matchbox 20. He was working at a record store in Orlando.
Oh,
And he
funny.
was going to Full Sail at that time.
Yeah. Okay.
We became friends because he saw they had a cassette out at the time, and I had just put out a CD called Carousel, and he was impressed that not only was it a CD, but it had full color artwork and all the stuff, and he wanted to know how we put it together. So that's what sparked the conversation, and we have not remained friends ever since. I don't know. We never really talked much. Not for any reason, just didn't really talk much. But that was back when they were Tabitha's Secret, and then they went on to become Matchbox 20. And if you're new to the show, this next section is called Recommendations. What we do is we try to toss up a song that we think the other will like. This week, Miss Tiffany had the suggestion. So, Miss Tiffany, it's all yours.
I told you to go listen to Ghost of Us by Jolie. She's an indie artist out of St. Augustine, Florida. And she just has a voice that, like a siren, just calls me in. So I shared her with you.
All right. Voice, yes. It was kind of like a smooth voice, right? It was not, when you say siren, I think hailstorm. It was not like hailstorm. Apparently you found that funny.
Do you know what the sirens are, Jay?
What do you mean?
From Greek mythology?
No. Why would I know that?
So the sirens were... they
But you
weren't
said
a
it
god,
sounded
I
like a
don't-
siren. Mark, when you hear sound like a siren, what do
Yeah.
you think?
Well, in context of music, loud and blaring.
Like a siren, like Lizzie Hale. All right. Sorry, Miss
No.
Tiffany. Go ahead. Explain us some Greek mythology. Is that what we're doing? Greek mythology?
I don't really know enough to like come off educated exactly. But I don't know if it was like a Greek god or it was like a nemesis of the Greek gods. But basically it was this thing in the water and you weren't supposed to go towards it. And if you did, it would like engulf you. So if I'm explaining this incorrectly, please go ahead and send that to jay@jayfranze.com. But to say like it's like this irresistible, magnetic pull. There we go. Magnetic pull towards whatever that is, and like try to resist it, but you just can't. And so that's what it meant to me.
Okay, but where's the siren part?
That was the name of the monster or whatever. They were the sirens. And so you couldn't, you would have to like cover your ears. And if you heard them, don't fire me. Don't fire me for being smarter than you, Jay. Jay.
I was going to say, George, look that up for us. George, fact check. But wait, George is not here. Oh, mercy me. Okay, fine.
So that's what I meant. So I think she kind of has like a yearning to her voice, or like a vulnerability or a desperation that, is sometimes, desirable. Sometimes you want to like scream your brains out with 5-finger death punch, and sometimes you just want to have a mellow moment.
Sometimes
just
you want to
the
hear the
feels.
sirens of Lizzie Hill.
No.
Mark, you're not backing me up at all tonight.
No. All right.
I love how incorrectly that's being used.
That's not incorrect. That's the proper usage of that term in the rock world. Mark, am I wrong?
No, I would agree with that.
I hate both of you.
Where is George? I do need him. I need backup. Where is my George?
I don't know. Can you chime in? I mean, you're 67 now. You might not remember, but chime in if you do.
Oh my gosh.
We abuse the crew every night, Mark. So it's all right.
I expect nothing less of you.
Yes. Well, your Jolie also played piano. I thought she did a good job there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just her and her producer, so that's kind of cool. And you want to take that a step further, Miss Tiffany? Mr. Producer Man from up in New England, and now lives in your neck of the woods.
Oh, really? Interesting. Her husband?
Is that her husband?
I don't know.
Well, then why
I
would
don't know
you
who
say
her
it?
producer is. I don't know who her producer is.
Who's her husband?
I mean, I could identify him through a photo.
What's he look like?
He's a little bit shorter. He kind of looks like a kid.
No,
He has glasses.
her producer is not that.
Okay. Then no. Okay. But probably out of Boston.
No. Lucio Rubino. Rubino is the producer.
Oh, wow.
He also played like the guitars and the bass and all that stuff. But he produced her music for her. But the reason I mentioned him is because he plays more of the hard rockin' music. So he plays my style of music, but produced your style of music.
Oh, okay. I like it. Very cool.
And I don't know her husband, sorry, but if you want to chime in, jayfranze.com, not live tonight. Oh, we're live. The link's not live.
Okay, so what you got for me? Throw it back.
Oh, wait. There's one more thing about the song that I wanted to mention on a dislike portion of the song. Because overall, I think the song was good. I think he did a good job producing. She did a good job singing. But it's programmed drums. And I'm not the biggest fan of programmed drums.
Okay.
That would be the only negative I would have.
Well, ever since being at that Forrest Frank concert where he showed all those tracks, I was listening to it through different ears for sure. And I was like, okay, how many different things can I hear in this song? And I was like, what is synth and what is real? I didn't do very good. I would have gotten F. I would have gotten an F. Because honestly, while I have such an appreciation, I really just want to think about the story and I just want to sing along.
I'm really going to depress you on this next tune then.
Thanks for getting me so excited for it.
My recommendation for next week's tune is a song called Bad News by a band called No Apology, with no space, just no apology.
And they're not sorry about it. Sorry, not sorry.
They are not sorry. No. They say that's bad news. But it's a band out of the Ukraine. So the odds of you understanding the lyrics are probably going to be slim.
Ooh,
I mean, they're in English.
tough.
But
Are they being screamed or are they coming at me too fast?
they're not being screamed. It's a female-fronted rock band. Surprise.
Of course it is. Wait. Say it again.
It's a female-fronted rock band.
Really?
Yeah.
I would not expect that from you.
No, I mean, yes, a female-fronted rock band. And yes, she is my type. And yes, she is hot. My wife is always saying, you listening to your girl sing again? I'm like, yeah, I am. I wish she
Let a
was
guy
here.
dream. Let a guy dream.
I wish she was here. Hell, I'd go to the Ukraine right now just to see her.
Comedy legend Jerry Seinfeld.
Who?
Jerry Seinfeld is set to perform his only Texas show this Saturday at Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion in the Woodlands, Houston. The event promises an evening of classic Seinfeld humor with ticketed seating under the pavilion tent.
All right. Mark?
I'm big. Oh,
Sorry. Tiffany.
I was just going to say I'm a big fan of Jerry Seinfeld.
See, I didn't want you to go first.
Yeah, well, you said to. So I think of this one stint of one of his skits where he's talking about the airline pilot and he's like, why is the pilot always got to tell you what he's going to do? He's going to take you up to 25,000 feet. He's going to cruise for so long. He's like, yeah, whatever. Just get me there.
My question to Mr. Longhair was, what is your thoughts of Jerry Seinfeld? Are you pro or against Mr. Seinfeld?
I am pro. I love the show. I've loved some of his older specials. I did see him live about 10 or 15 years ago, and the show was not very good, but I do generally like him.
I think we might have seen the same one, Mark.
Yeah, I don't know if it was
In
just
Peoria, Illinois. It wasn't like where you were going to go home and have stomach aches. Like, few chuckles. It was funny-ish.
Yeah. It might have just been enough because he only spoke for 45, 50 minutes. It wasn't even an hour. I don't think so.
I think his show was awesome, but I don't think it was because of him. I think the cast is what made that show awesome, including him.
Yeah.
But I think it was the cast that made the show awesome.
Why can I not think of the guy that would come in, his neighbor,
Kramer.
Street, the crazy guy? Yes. Oh my gosh, Kramer. I think Kramer made that show. And Elaine. I mean, she was pretty good too.
She was cute.
Is that right?
Yes, she was cute. Mark, did you think Elaine was cute?
Yeah.
She wasn't hot, but she was cute.
Yeah.
She reminds me of Seinfeld or Saturday Night Live chick. What's her name?
Tina Fey.
Thank you. There you go. Yes, you're a little late, but thank you.
Hey, better late than never.
Oh, I reached for the button, but we're still on George. So you are lucky.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, she's Tina Fey hot. I think they're both cute. I think they're very similar in their cuteness.
Yeah.
All right.
All I can think of when I think of Elaine is where she's like, shut up, and she pushes him hard. Okay, me. Sorry. Wait a minute, we're still in my segment.
Are we though?
Okay. It's all my segment. Okay. Viral sensation Matt Rife continues his Stay Golden tour across the U.S., bringing his energetic and relatable comedy to his fans nationwide.
All right, Miss Tiffany, hold off now. Hold off. Mark, opinions on Matt Rife?
I've seen a couple of his specials on Netflix. One of them I thought was just okay, and the one that he did that was complete crowd work I thought was outstanding. So,
He does do good crowd work, but it bothers me when he does just crowd work. I want to see some writing, but I saw him in concert. It was okay.
In concert?
You still call it a concert, don't you, Mark?
yeah, at a show in concert, I would.
No?
Okay.
Or is our age just showing? Is that the problem?
We used to call them concerts. I don't know. But anywho, yes, Matt's very good at his crowd work. I will give him that for sure. And I like some of his writing, like the specials. His specials were on YouTube. I think it's a big deal now that he's got a Netflix special coming out, because the first one he did it on his own. He produced the whole thing and put it out on YouTube. And then this time around, he's got a Netflix one, and it's a big deal because it's Netflix. He's actually making fun of the whole thing.
Oh.
Mark,
Yes,
what do you got going on this week?
just work. Nothing exciting. Nothing really good. I don't know.
I think you had a cool Memorial Day that you were looking forward to last time we talked to you.
That was
How was your trip?
that was a blast. We had about 20 of us or so, just basically hanging out, having some beers and laughing our asses off the whole weekend.
Dreamy.
Yeah,
Cool.
can't argue with a weekend like that.
Yeah, cool.
Fair enough, Miss Tiffany. What do you got going on?
Well, I kind of want you to go first.
Is that how we're going to do this from now on?
Oh.
Well, let me tell you what I have going on this week.
Jay, what do you have going on this week?
Well, thank you for asking. Well, last week, my children's had a dance recital. I say recital because it was not their actual competition, but it was a dance recital where they get to perform what they've been working on from the past year. And I thought it was pretty cool because I got to see both of my daughters, both of the ones that are in, there's 3 of them, 26 daughters at this point. And the oldest 2 get to do some dances, including some hip-hop dances that I have never seen them do, which I thought was pretty cool, including Lucy. I didn't even know she was doing hip-hop because she doesn't do hip-hop in the competitions. So getting to see her do the hip-hop, getting to see Bella do it, I was very impressed by both of them and may have lost my man card that night.
I was going to say, how many times did you cry?
Just little tears, maybe. Watery eyes, maybe.
It was
Yeah.
just somebody cutting onions in the audience.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Aw.
You want me to continue?
Oh,
I got
Daddy.
more. Am I allowed
Lay it
to
on me.
continue? I mean, I don't want to jack up your segment.
Well, I just really did want to talk about it, but
Okay.
it looked like we had one thing to talk about first.
No. Let me just get
So-
the business out of the way. This week, Awaiting Abigail has been released. If you would like to hear Awaiting Abigail, please go ahead and check that out. But this past Monday night, I also got to talk with Ann Kittredge, which was pretty cool. She is from Broadway, and she also sings.
Did she sing any little ditties? Did she share any of her voice?
She did not sing any ditties. No, but she is definitely a talented woman. She's been on Broadway for years. She's toured around. She's played some big venues, but she's also put together a couple albums now that are very good. They're very theatrical. So if you like that style, please check it out. Even if you want to hear just some great stories from a great performer. If you did not catch it live on Monday, it will be released this upcoming Monday.
Can't wait.
There you go.
Yeah.
I feel your excitement.
Well, I can't be excited about it yet because it's not available. So it's like coming up.
That's why you're.
It's supposed to be some anticipation. You're supposed to be ready for it.
Well, I apologize. Mr. Mason does not get excited about things until it happens, right? And so I feel like maybe he is rubbing off on me and I can't get excited until the episode is live. And then I'll be just chomping at the bit. Like, let me listen to this episode.
I don't want to know why he's rubbing on you anyway, but let's go ahead. Let's move on.
Because he's my husband.
Is he a Metallica fan?
No.
Mark's a Metallica fan. You two might have something in common.
Wow, how about that?
Mark, do you like to have sex to Metallica?
No, stop, Jay. Oh my God.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Hi, Internet.
Just trying to see how much you guys have in common.
Well, we don't have that in common, but something that you and I have in common, Jay, is
not sex to Metallica.
No, is heading to CMA Fest.
Fanfare.
Which I am
Fanfare.
to Fanfare.
Were you not part of that conversation earlier? Mark, if you don't know, CMA Fest is a big festival downtown Nashville. They have it once a year. You get to go and you get to see all these big performers perform, but you also get to do meet and greets. Cool. It used to be called Fanfare. They've changed the name in the past several years to CMA Fest. I can't get over it. I still want to call it Fanfare. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, yes, Miss Tiffany, we are going to Nashville. I don't know what today is. Is today Wednesday?
Yes.
So I think I leave Friday morning at the butt crack of dawn. So it starts at like 10 o'clock, 10 a.m.
Yes. Well, actually, my son lives up in Tennessee, north of Nashville. So actually, Hannah and I are going to take off early tomorrow, and we are going to go spend some time with my son, and I get to see his new baby and the rest of his family. And I am really super excited about that. And then on Friday, we will buzz down and we are going to meet up with you and Bella. A, I'm super excited to meet you in person. And B, Hannah is super excited to meet Bella in person. So it'll be fun to, share our passion of music and, CMA Fest and the girls and just all of it. I'm really excited for all of it.
Nice. Mark, we get to go down there and we get to talk to the PR firms that we've been dealing with over the past couple of years. And we get to not only get to talk to them, but we get to see the artists that they represent. And a lot of them have been on the show. So we get to meet a lot of the artists that have been on the show.
Awesome. That's always a fun time, those kind of things.
Yeah. So should be a good time. It is a brutal 9 hours up to Parker, but I'm guessing it's going to take us at least 10. So by the time we stop
By the time you stop and eat and all of the fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but it'll be good. I'm very excited. And I got him a little Father's Day gift, which I'm super excited about because he has been like a father
he's
to.
Not your father.
I know, but it's
not
my
Mr.
baby.
State.
I know, but my baby's a daddy, and there was a shirt, and I just thought it was so cute, and it screamed that it was Parker, and so I'm going to bring that to him just to celebrate his first. He has played the role of the dad to his girlfriend's son, Ollie, but now he has a baby that he and Mina have. And so I don't know. It's his first full blood baby, or you know what I'm trying to say. So I don't want to discount the relationship he has with Ollie because it's definitely very sweet. But, you know, his first biological child. That's what I'm trying to say.
There you go. Well, yes, that does mean we both have road trips coming up.
Yes.
I'm excited, and apparently I have a playlist now, too.
You're welcome. Well, I thought it was kind of timely when last week we did question of the day, and it was, what song would you put on a playlist? And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know some of these songs, and some of these songs are really great. So I was like, make a playlist. So I made a playlist, and it's on Spotify. And speaking of CMA Fest, I thought that this was, again, timely. Watching the news, and on Fox and Friends, one of their anchors, Steve Ducey, has been in Nashville, and he's been doing these mystery morning walks. So he goes for a morning walk, and then he ends up meeting up with some mystery celebrity. You know, they build it up like, who could he be going for a morning walk with? And so last week, I had brought up Kid Rock's Rock and Rodeo that he's been doing. It was on May 16th, and he performed, I think, before. But it's part of the PBR tour. I think I'm saying that right. Anyways, and I know. I was going to say it, and then I was like, irrelevant, don't say it. But yes, I always think of PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Okay, not a sponsor, but I mean, be. Spots are open.
George? Oh, wait.
Oh.
George didn't show up to work today.
So they had him downtown Nashville, and Steve was, you know, they were building up who is he going to meet up with. And then he met up with Kid Rock, and they took a morning walk, and they ended up at his restaurant, his new one, the Detroit Cowboy, and it looked pretty cool in there. And because it's called he's
got a restaurant in Nashville?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It just opened. Yep. I don't know what the address is, but it just opened. It's not 305 Broadway. I know that.
That one's taken.
Post has got it. But yes, so it was interesting though. So he meets up with Kid Rock, and I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, this guy's everywhere because of the you know, what I just said, Kid Rock's Rock and Rodeo. And then he also did the Rock the Country tour. So that's what he was there kind of promoting, was Rock the Country tour. If you look at the promo for it, it says 10 small cities, 10 massive cities, whatever, 20 dates. And it's a whole slew of people that are on the tour and performing in different cities. And then for some reason, Steve was like, well, what is your morning regimen? I don't know if that's what Kid Rock said he wanted to talk about or what. But, you know, Kid Rock is, I can't remember. I did look it up how old he is. 45, 50.
Tell me he's older than that.
No, I think that's.
You depress me these days. Go ahead, continue. I'll look it up.
Sorry. Okay. So, but he's got a 6-pack. And so Steve was asking him like,
he's 54.
54. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this guy's got a 6-pack. So apparently he fasts 4 to 5 days a week until 1 p.m. and then he eats. But when on like the other days, he's like, yeah, you know, then if I want to order a pizza on Sunday, I can. And if I want to have steak and eggs for breakfast, I can. So then that was the whole thing that they talked about at the restaurant, was steak and eggs, which was kind of funny. But it also got me thinking, like, how early do these people have to wake up to be on these segments? Fox and Friends is always doing these diner segments. But when I'm watching it, it's like 6:30 a.m. So how early did these people have to get up? Like 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
To shower, you know, everything, and then show up.
You're assuming they shower. Come on.
I would if I was going to be on TV. But it's also just a slim chance. And who's to say they're even going to meet Kid Rock? But anyway, he kind of seems to be popping up on my radar a lot lately. And so I just thought it was funny that it was first the rodeo, and then he's going for the mystery walk, and Steve Ducey is down there for CMA Fest, and then they were talking about CMA Fest and just all the things, and he just seemed to be intertwined into all of them.
Fair enough. Mark, do you like Kid Rock?
Not particularly.
Oh.
Controversy.
Is it a music thing, or one time he shared something you disagreed with?
Yeah, it's more towards that. Let's go.
Okay.
They used to date the same girl.
Nah, I don't know. I've just never been a fan of his music, and the last few years, not a big fan of him.
Okay, fair enough. I just keep thinking, because I want to be a cowboy, baby.
It's a good song.
It's a good
I've
song.
never met him, but everybody I know that has met him said he's a nice guy.
He seemed pretty legit and pretty down to earth. Like I was saying, they were talking about what he has to do to condition himself to be on stage. And he was saying, it's definitely more challenging now. I know we've talked about that as celebrities age or singers age. And then he was saying because of his health regimen, I mean, he had a whole list of things that he does, including a cold plunge bath or whatever.
Everybody's doing it, but it's not supposed to be good for you. You can jack it up pretty easily. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I'm not interested.
I'm not a doctor. I don't play one in real life. I am an amateur gynecologist, but that's a whole different thing. Oh my God. It came up. Yesterday, my wife had a colonoscopy. I'm sure she doesn't want me to tell anybody that, but she did. She had a camera. So she had that yesterday. And so all
Pretend
these...
Jay is a siren and don't listen.
The doctor did not like me. The doctor's sitting there, a really good-looking girl. She's sitting there talking, how we're going to go up there. We're going to look for cancer. We're going to look for pops. I said, could you look for my car keys? And she did not find that funny.
Oh my gosh. Read the room, Jay.
I did. The nurse laughed. I thought it was fine. Oh, hey, whatever. Anyways, this is turned pretty hard left.
Well, sometimes we are a medical show, though, Jay.
We're the furthest thing in the world from a medical show. But we like to play. So wrong. Anyway, should we end it? Should we bring it home? Let me take it home, please.
Yeah, yep. Land this plane.
Well, we have done it. We have blown past the top of the hour, which does mean we have reached the end of the show. If you've enjoyed the show, please tell a friend. And if you have not, Miss Tiffany,
tell two.
Tell two. You can also reach out to both of us over at jfranze.com, where we will keep this and any other conversation going. Mr. Mark, sir, thank you for joining us tonight. You stayed the whole time. That's
pleasure.
pretty nice. We like that when you join in. Gives me somebody else to pick on Tiffany with. Miss Tiffany, any final words for us?
Yes. Remember, what you hear today could inspire what you create tomorrow.
And on that note, folks, have a good night.
Thanks for listening to The Jay Franze Show. Make sure you visit us at jfranze.com. Follow, connect, and say hello. This episode has been brought to you by VR Knives, your source for 100% custom knives made by a true rock star. So, if you're in the market for a new piece of art, reach out to VR Knives. 407-421-5528. 407-421-5528.